And welcome to another episode of Who Gives a Hoot. I'm Luke. I've got a petition writer, general, gambler extraordinaire John Ryan with me, and this is hard for me, but we have the enemy on. I've got Brandon Mays and Gio. Gio, I can never remember your last name or how to pronounce it.
It's Cañas.
Cañas. Okay. Both of you on. You've both been doing some great work in the overall sphere of USL, specifically USL League One, bringing some visibility to the league, which is why I felt you were, maybe better than bringing on Andrew or one of those other hotheads with the riot. But welcome. Should be a fun little trip down memory lane. I see somebody's got a background of lies and falsehoods, but
it's real. It's not lies. It's there.
This is real.
It looks like a sticker. Did you put a sticker on that?
No, it's pretty real. I can't peel it off.
I mean, you got that. We're still in the Open Cup, so I feel like we're doing okay.
Yeah, you're fine. You're doing great.
Yeah. We won our star. We won our star. I'll stand by that. All right. Just some quick news. As far as Union Omaha goes, Ricky Rivera scored 4 goals to tie CONCACAF Nations League goal scoring high for a single game. That again, British Virgin Islands. Yeah.
Maybe
virginity. But definitely what we were hoping for. He would go down the Caribbean, come back on a good streak, especially going into this Greenville game. And then Isaac Bawa made Team of the Week, which they refused to give Rashid Team of the Week, even though Rashid has saved our butts game in, game out. But, when you're that consistently good, it's hard to notice when you're doing better.
You guys loving this so far?
Yeah.
I love it.
Fantastic, yeah.
All right, so remind me, how did Greenville do this past weekend?
I mean, we scored 3 goals, so...
Who did you score those 3 goals for? Because Union Omaha also scored 3 goals.
That's
Oh gosh, I didn't think about
that.
So it goes.
So you lost. The final score of that match is high scoring match, 3-2 against forward Madison, backwards Madison, whatever Madison they are. In any event, they beat you. Not a result anybody likes to see.
No.
Well,
I only saw the first, I'd say 10-15 minutes before it was time to get ready to go to watch our own team play. But it seemed like that first goal kind of just came out of nowhere. Christensen was either just not in the right spot or just did not think Cassini was going to pull the trigger. Am I right about that?
Yeah, there's a couple. Yes. That was a tough. I mean, it's an incredible shot, first of all. I mean, we were a minute and 45 seconds into the game, and this dude just drops a low curler into the bottom left corner. But the thing was defense was really disorganized. At the time, I think, he lost his marker, basically. We had 2 midfielders along the back 4 who had kind of dropped because Mikey Maldonado was running across the back line. And so there was just a lot of confusion in between the midfielders and the back line, and he was given just a little too much space. He had that extra little moment to consider taking the shot before someone came out to try and close him down. Way too much. He just had too much time, and it's hard to argue with him. It was an incredible shot, but yeah, I don't think anybody was expecting it. It seems like it was a tough one for sure.
I mean, I'm glad you guys dropped points. I'm sad against who you dropped points against. Us against Tucson, looking ahead to our Open Cup, Noe Meza gets a beautiful free kick from just absolutely beautiful free kick up for goal of the week. Should get goal of the week. And the following day, Johnny Russell takes about the exact same one, scores about the exact same one. So just saying, I think we did it first and we did it better versus the MLS side. Some good foreshadowing here.
To be like,
but-
they can't quite make it.
But Kamal Malcolm using his head, the Malcolm in the middle jokes being rampant there, and Connor Doyle getting his second career goal for Union Omaha. Just not on the right side, so that puts him at
Actually, that'd be his third.
does he have another own goal?
Sick. Sick.
Pretty sure he does. Connor, I apologize if I'm wrong, but I think you do.
Well, if you're a captain, you lead from behind sometimes, and apparently into our own net.
Gotta leave
But
some.
looking onward, we got this green team with a bunch of what you got, like Hot Wheels or something. Is that your mascot?
We do have one Hot Wheel.
Yeah,
That's
there's a
probably
car that drives onto the field every game. Yeah, so
I don't think you can do that on your field. It might mess up the sand or the pitcher's mound.
Well, it might mess up the actual grass. I wouldn't want to scuff the high school marks. Or sorry, early college.
It's an early college.
Get it right, man.
You get college credits.
If you're gonna hate on us properly.
Yeah, at least you get college credits here.
All right, so your form has been. You were top of the table for a minute, but that says nothing in this League One table right now. What you guys are 10 games in now?
Mm-hmm. We are.
So we've got 2 games in hand on you. Sitting 6th at points per game. We're sitting highest. I think we're the only team that's only lost 1 game so far. That's correct, John?
Yes, I think so, because Fuego lost their second game.
Yeah. So we're looking statistically at, like, just looking at those terrible stats that those statisticians that work the league put out. We're looking a little bit probably favorites here. What does Eastern Europe say, or do they have our lines yet on?
Well, the Baltics won't put our lines up until like Friday morning.
All right, so we'll check back in Friday and update for everybody. But what have you guys seen about Greenville this year that Union Omaha should be worried about?
You go first, Gio?
Yeah, I'll go first. I think we have been up and down, but I think the past 2 games, we've had spurts of good play lately. I even saw some positives in the Madison game. I think our defense was a little all over the place, and that's not like us, which we showed that we can dominate a game against Madison at home. We just couldn't do it away. But with Labovitz scoring, it's unfortunate Jake didn't get the hat trick we thought he was going to get in Madison, which I think the whole league would have rooted for. But with Jacob Labovitz scoring, hopefully a new signing coming up, that will help and put some fire, in our team. I think our midfield has been playing well with Noah Pilato coming back. He'll be healthy soon, and he might start this week. I know we've had Miles Fenton come in and start the past 2 games, and he's played very well. And our defense, I think, is going to be up for the game against Omaha. It really is our revenge game after the embarrassing final that we had. It could have been closer, but you guys finished your chances. We didn't. And you guys played much better in that final. It
I'm going
hurts.
to sound that.
It's true. I think you guys fully deserved that final. We could have at least had 1 or 2 to make it interesting, but at the end of the day, we weren't up for it, and you guys were. But I think our guys are going to be able to fight. We got that dog in us. We've shown to get to the top of the table, even just for that one week. And I think the game against Omaha is always a talking point for the players on both sides, for our coaches and for the fans. It's always a fun one. So I think it can go either way anytime. We've won over there on at the Omaha Storm Chasers Stadium, and we've also we've lost the final there. But when you guys came here and beat us last season, or we tied last season, and you guys beat us in 2020. So the games are always competitive, and I think it'll continue to be that way even this week.
Yeah.
I don't think any team has won at home except for us in the final. Is that right?
Sounds right. Sounds exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I will say it took like John Harkes a long time to realize that Omaha was, or actually acknowledge that Omaha was competitive. Like he kept dodging the subject every chance somebody would ask him. He'd just be like, "Oh yeah, no, that's an okay side up there. It's an okay side up there." And then after the final last year, I feel like he followed our supporters group. So I mean, he's got to be at least noticing us now.
He noticed. Yeah,
for sure.
I'll say, like, as far as things that like really make me excited about Greenville, obviously I try to keep track of just about everything I can as far as the league goes and stats go and things like that. And I think one of the most exciting and most frustrating things about Greenville right now is that there is no team in the league that has a better expected goals per game or a better American Soccer Analysis has this thing that they value basically where if your possession gets you closer to goal, closer to scoring, or closer to conceding, you get awarded points positively or negatively. And no team has better goals added per game than Greenville, which is the really frustrating thing when you look at how we have gone about finishing our chances. And I think that gives me a lot of hope because it means obviously we have the most shots in the league, 150, something like that, by far, most shots in the league. And we're creating a ton of really high quality chances, but we have not been able to do anything with them up to this point. So that'll be, I think, for Omaha, who, quite frankly, this season, nothing wrong with it. They just have not created quite to the same level they did last season. That's something to think about. I mean, both teams are still creating, and Omaha's not creating. They're creating plenty, but they're just not quite as ridiculous as they were last season so far. And so I think that'll be an interesting thing to come in and see is who's going to be more potent offensively. A team that has been creating really, really well up until the final third, or a team who's just been finishing their chances.
It will be interesting to see because, like you said, Greenville creates so many chances, but we're the team that doesn't care if we don't have the ball. But what we're typically doing is we're basically baiting teams into saying, "Ooh, we have possession. Let's hold it and see if we can get a really good shot." So it's going to be interesting to see if Greenville slows that tempo down, if we give them the ball, or if they kind of just they still keep on just peppering shots, in which case we might just pepper them right back because I'm sure we don't have as many shots, but we are probably creating just as many shots per minute of possession or percentage of possession.
Right.
I mean, just look at when we played Minnesota United, for example. I think we still had 8 shots, even though we had the ball for less than 30% of the game.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's gonna be fascinating because, like you said, that's one of Omaha's strengths is denying space. And as soon as they get the ball, all of a sudden, you're in their goal. You know what I mean? Like that's the beauty of playing for Union Omaha. Is next thing you know, it's like you teleport. I mean, in fairness, when you've got Connor Doyle, I mean, that's gonna happen. When he's not scoring, he's gonna get it forward really quickly. And so, I definitely think that's something to worry about, especially since we, against Madison, we were stretched. So I wouldn't say easily might be the right word. We were stretched a good bit. And, obviously they have a really interesting structure that allows them to stretch us really well. But I think that Omaha is going to be even a tougher prospect in that regard just because of how quickly and incisive y'all are.
I think we can all agree that Madison is a better team this year than they were last year.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're still not a team you want to lose to, A draw is acceptable, but losing.
And a win at home is
definitely.
acceptable too.
I'm interested to see what they do this weekend at Tormenta. If I think the loser of that game is going to feel like they're in a hole.
Well, Tormenta's playing terrible at home also.
They have not scored a goal at home yet.
Anything can happen.
Ian Cameron's out this weekend, and who else got after the final whistle?
Josh Phelps. And if you read the statement that Tormenta put out, there is a dig in there. Does everybody here know what I'm talking about?
They're so salty, yeah. Talking about the 7 minutes of at a time thing.
Yeah, at the 99th minute in the 99th minute after 7 minutes of stoppage time, they left us to do the math.
That I appreciate Tormenta's salt and just overall fun there.
One of these days, I'm gonna make a video compilation of starting with all the teams that are shocked by how much extra time there is left on their social media, and then compiling all the times their team wasted time or how often the ball was not in play to show why it took so long to get there, and also why there's more time added on after that game. It's so annoying.
Wasn't Tucson?
Yeah.
Weren't they complaining over the weekend too with you guys? Or they were complaining about something.
The fans were counting out loud.
Yeah.
It was but it wasn't like what fans typically do when a keeper holds the ball for too long. Somebody was hurt and the refs had stopped play. It's one of those obvious that just unknowledgeable fans thinking that, the ref is allowing an injured player to stay down, and they're also going to not stop their own clock.
Well, it looked like there were more Omaha fans than Tucson fans there. So.
We're actually quite a few.
We were discussing this, and honestly, there might have been, because you have Gio Cañas, who won a national championship with Pima Junior College down there. So he had fans coming out for him. You have Gabriel Claudio, who didn't make it the entirety of the game because things happened. But he's from Yuma. And then JP he's originally from Nogales, and I think his family all lives up just out in Mesa. So we're pretty solid for that southern Arizona sort of fan base.
Wow.
There was definite sea of volt there, but against Greenville, that we were without Claudio going into probably the toughest match we're going to have all year. As far as what our lineup's going to look like, you may be looking at. I don't think we have enough players with lacking depth to call it a B squad, but not our normal starters, might say. Just trying to rest some guys up or keep them a little bit more reserved, since Greenville is one of the more physical games we play traditionally. So a lot of fouls going back and forth. The players on the field definitely feel a bit of a rivalry there. That's always kind of the fun part for me. As much as Omaha fans get chewed out for, everything's a rivalry. You can tell when the players on the field feel it, and we've got three definite ones: Tucson, Chattanooga, and Greenville. Those are the ones where the most fouls are happening. Just players are feeling it. Greenville's one we foul definitely more than you guys do, but I think this year with our speed, our team as a whole feels faster this year than it did last year. I think you're going to see more chances for you guys to try and throw some corn stalks in our way, or do drive a tractor in. Do what you do.
We do the thing. I thought that was what you did in Nebraska.
5 years for $2 at Baker's right now.
Wait a second. Where am I living? What?
Like Mario Kart with corn.
I don't know what they do. But no, how do you think? I mean, you guys have a lot of the same folks coming back. John Harkes did a good job of either extending contracts or signing longer contracts from the get go. How do you think? Because some of those guys they weren't necessarily young to begin with, but starting to show a little bit of the signs of slowing. How do you think they're going to deal with a kid like Ryan Giba, or I mean, I would say like some fire like Gabriel Claudio, but he's out of the question. But Isaac Bawa, who is up and back in a split second. Kamal Malcolm, who when he puts on when he lights the Rockets, he's gone. Just shown that again and again.
Yeah, I think it's something that we definitely saw Madison, trying to get past us with speed, and it worked with Cassini. He is a fast man. Tyler Pollock, he's a little bit older, but he's not the slowest. He's not one of the slowest players in the league. He has some jets on him for an old bald guy, but he was trying to catch up, and I think we just need to play much smarter. We were committing too much forward, and we've played against teams that are faster than us. Most teams usually are. We're not a team that's full of speed. We never have been. So I think it's about how we line up tactically and knowing that we can get countered by you guys constantly. It is something that we're usually better about, but last week, it bit us really hard knowing, being a little too confident in how we push forward. So I think we have a little bit more respect for your team because of that. Although a lot of I guess it's in our favor that a lot of our players are coming back because they know what this rivalry is about. A lot of your players might be unknown to it, and that's what will make this game fun because we really don't know. We've never seen these group of guys play against each other, but our guys, we're a lot of them are aware of what happened last season, and we're there, and we've been watching. I think the whole league's been watching with the Open Cup run and how you guys have been doing. We all know what you guys can and can't do. So it'll be interesting how disciplined we are, knowing that you guys are a faster team than most in the league.
Yeah.
Well, specifically, you and Brandon have both mentioned that your defense has not been as strong this year, and that's been one of the things the past 2 years that's gotten you as far as it has. I mean, Omaha's defense again isn't quite as strong as last year. Losing Dami, losing Sosa, losing Alal, definitely hurts us a bit. But keeping Dalton there and building these younger guys around him has seemed to really, really grown in. Do you feel that your aging defense is a liability that you're not taking up for in the midfield?
I don't. It's hard to say. I think we have the experience there, but then the depth is what really hurts us. If one of our players they flinch every time one of our defenders go down because we don't really have anybody else to really cover.
Sims and Hart.
Definitely, right back and left back, or even center back. Our other center back won't be back for probably a few more weeks after getting hurt in the Charlotte game, I believe, an Open Cup game. So we don't really have much depth there, and we do in the midfield. But as far as defense, we got to be smart. We can't be getting red cards. We can't be getting beat and stupid fouls, and that's where I really worry. We still have thankfully we have leadership there and good qualities, but I think we really do need some help because there's going to be tired legs eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in fairness, we've switched styles. Like we're not playing the same way we were last year. There's a learning curve there, and there's a lot to what's going on. We're still not allowing that many shots, but the problem is in some of those moments, some of those shots, and some of them, I can't even you can. I'm not even sure you can necessarily blame the defense sometimes. Sometimes it's just breakdowns across the team, and I think part of that's just learning and kind of executing a new style of play that's kind of there's a learning curve there too. Obviously, we're getting to the 10th game of the season, so we're hoping to start see some of that kind of come together. But I think, anytime obviously this isn't Hart's first time in this system that we're kind of adopting this season with the 4-2-3-1 or whatever it is. Each week 4-3-3 sometimes. But still, it's one of those things where last year a lot of these players in that, and even moving back to that after playing basically what was a season of every formation under the sun because of injury crisis. I think that's something that we have to keep in mind as well. I do think that there's some issues there, but like I think some of it just comes from the fact that we're kind of adjusting.
Yeah. No, I definitely think the adaptation as kind of seeing how you guys played this year, it's really interesting to me just because how strong you've been in certain key areas and how seeing whether it's age or just new piece in there doesn't work quite as well as the old piece, how you're adapting there and seeing the exact same thing in the Omaha rebuild. I'm excited to see Saturday because with the smaller pitch, I don't think you're as injured or as hurt by the slower players. Our speed isn't as tactically beneficial. It's still important to have speed on that pitch, but when you're shaving off 5 yards at either end, getting about as close to FIFA minimum as possible, like it's a definite benefit for a team that doesn't have the speed. So if you guys play bunker ball like you've done in the past there, it could be a very tough match.
Well, I think that's one of the keys for this match is just being able to play over the press for both teams because, Omaha's going to press high, and the only way we're going to be able to, we can pass short passes around and try and get through, but ultimately a lot of it's probably going to be some long balls over some really fast players running at our defense.
All right. If you've got to pick 2 players that for Union Omaha that mark each of you, which would be the 2 you're most worried about?
I really like Malcolm. I like what I've seen him. I've heard about him before, which is really interesting. Following the Salvadorian League, I've heard his name before, which is really cool to see that someone in our league came from the Salvadorian League, which hopefully leads to maybe more prospects. USA is playing El Salvador at the moment, and that's where my family's from. So it was exciting to see. Although he's not Salvadorian, I thought that was really interesting to get from you guys. He's a really interesting player, and I like what I've seen of him. And truthfully, I love to hate him, but Nuhu is just a rock back there. I remember last year; it was really fun. Uh, I love yelling at the goalies. I think Charlotte Independence knows that. And he's just a good sport. He's a great guy. He gave me a finger wag whenever I was telling him he was scared or whatnot. And I really like him, and I think he's a really secure keeper. He can get an assist any single game, especially in your under regulation stadium field. Under
Fully
FIFA
regulation.
So I know he's more than capable to do that, but he's just solid back there, and he's been in every single one of the games against Greenville. So I think him, along with Connor Doyle, will bring that experience for all the guys who are just coming out of college and maybe might not have an idea of what it's like to play in a rivalry game like this. I think they will bring that experience, but specifically Nuhu, I think he's a great goalie to have in the back that'll keep your defense secured. Who, is not, may not be the best in the league, but he helps them and makes them better. You guys work as a team back there, so those are definitely 2 players that I would watch out for.
I think for me, obviously, I'd want to say something like know him as a Gio Cañas, something like that. I think they're dangerous, but for me, the 2 places that I'd be worried about are one Connor Doyle, and then Ryan Jiba. Connor Doyle won just because, again, the dude's such a crisp passer. You saw him break so many lines in, every game y'all have played so far. Like, it's just ridiculous. I hate how good he is at passing the ball. And then, I think those overlaps from Ryan Giba are going to be killer. If he can pull people out of position, obviously he's going to be looking to stretch and cause some disruption in the defense, like he did against so many teams. What game was it? It was 2 weeks ago that was the Joe Brito goal, right? Was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Against Chattanooga. Second minute.
Yeah. That, those overlaps from Ryan are just going to cause so much indecision, and because he's a quick player, he's a good crosser, and that would be something I'd be worried about too, especially when we kind of want to deny space centrally as well, but we've also kind of been prone to like letting people in a little bit this year, and so I'm really worried about those overlaps, honestly, and from Connor Doyle.
You can tell he's game by game he's gotten better at almost just like on-field awareness and getting back in the defensive position after he's made a run like that. The first couple games he's left himself open to get burned a little bit, and I don't think he ever played as a defender in college. I'm not sure if anybody here can either confirm that or correct me if I'm wrong. So to see him pick up on that so quickly is encouraging for us.
For sure.
Yeah. So I'll go first with the players that I think I'm worried most about with Greenville. Keegan, definitely just seeing what he's done around the league, what he's continuing to do around the league. Player to watch, but one that we have some experience shutting down. Like, that worries me in that he hasn't gotten worse, I suppose. Definitely there attacking. And then I don't know who else you have that's not injured.
It feels sometimes. Those poor guys, man. I hate it for them. There's just, having conversations with players who are it's just tough. Anyway.
But like, Pillato's always been one to worry about. Smart's been a very physical player against us. Like, Christensen's nothing to mess about in goal. Hard for me to pick a second. You've got some dangerous pieces and just pieces to worry about. Do I think they're going to be too much of a problem for us? No, but the wind goes the right way. It's 100 degrees on Saturday, so could be some. Yeah, it's going to be triple digits in Omaha.
It's almost triple digits here today, I guess, but
yeah.
Still, jeez.
John, who you got for your two for Greenville?
I wasn't ready for this question. Is Gavilanes one of the players that's hurt?
No, he's not.
He's in.
Okay, he always scares me. I think he can turn it on just like that. And I guess the second I'd say is maybe not something that we'd have to worry about all the time, but I was trying to butter up Venton Evans when he was warming up before the second half, the last time Fort Lauderdale were here, because I knew he was probably going to become available when Fort Lauderdale left the league. And I know he's not playing all the time for you guys, but I think he could score like at the drop of a hat if he's in the right spot.
If he plays striker, I would be a little bit nervous. We played him at striker against Independence, and it was beautiful to watch. But then we just keep putting him back on the wing. If we play striker, we're serious about this game.
Tell me as an armchair coach how you would better coach Greenville.
I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
You still want John Harks to acknowledge you in public.
Yeah,
I stayed this.
Yeah, he looks at me and he's like, Gio, I love your hair. I want him to keep saying those things.
It's fair. All right, so that kind of breaks down, I think, about as much as we can really do for the game without getting into the nitty gritty. This rivalry and just what these teams have done for the league. I mean, maybe it's not the most famous rivalry as far as like national press goes, but I think within the league, it's really kind of grown into something where, yeah, everybody gives crap to Omaha for wanting wanting to have like competitive on and off field experiences with every team. But as far as Greenville, where it's every year Greenville's been a top two finisher. Um, in the league. Every year Omaha's it's been top two finisher in the league. Like definitely something you like to see as a fan. But what do you guys think this is Omaha and Greenville having this sort of connection has done? Oh no. This is a deep question.
The deep
It's a
question.
very deep question. I'll let Brandon go first.
Let me go first. Okay.
I'll
All
let
right.
you go first.
Well, I mean, you think about it, like two teams who, like you said, have can. I mean, the fact of the matter is with Omaha, even they've 2 years now, top of the table. One of the top two spots. Greenville reaching 3 finals in a row. It's a rivalry of quality. It's not a rivalry that's based off of just we live near you, which quite frankly in the United States is pretty hard anyways. It's like we live 300 miles from you. Let's have a rivalry.
Was 300 miles away from us.
I know, right? um, it just doesn't.
400 something.
So I think that this rivalry is born out of competitiveness, like some really high quality play, and that's what makes part of this rivalry so exciting. It's just that when you watch Omaha versus Greenville, even if it's a slugfest, like you got the last 30 minutes of the game, you got 5 defenders in, that this game is going to be incredible. You know that you're gonna have one of the best games in League One on your hands every time you watch it, and I think that's what's so exciting for this game, is that like everyone when they see Omaha versus Greenville, it's not that it's must watch League One, and it adds some, I wouldn't say legitimacy to the league necessarily, but I think it does speak to the quality of players that are in this league, and it in a sense it does, because it shows you that there are teams in this league who are really competitive and really powerful teams time and time again who are building something really cool.
No, I'm definitely on that because it's yeah. Oh, go ahead, Gio.
I was gonna say I agree completely with Brandon. I think in a way it does bring some legitimacy in certain aspects of it, because we have the Henny Derby, Forward Madison Richmond, and their fans brought that together and it's celebrated. But we created this out of just the quality that we have put out there. Um, not being very close, it made it really fun. In 2020, I didn't know what to expect out of you guys when we played our first game against each other, and that was a fun one. We already knew we were going to make it to the final. I think a week later we clinched officially first place, and you guys were still fighting for your lives, and we could see the quality. I still remember Conway's goal. I remember Pallato's goal. I can't remember who scored the first. It was a banger too, though. But it was just really showed. He left last. I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but it just showed the quality and what we had there. So then that final being canceled was really, really hard. It really sucked. I bought 14 tickets for my friends and family who don't always go to Greenville games, but like this was going to be a big deal. And I remember waking up. I was working night shift at the time, and I remember waking up and seeing the news, and my heart dropped. I was just so upset that we weren't going to get that. And I went to the celebration in that beautiful picture, that Brandon has in the background, lifting our trophy. But I still, it left a bad taste. I wish we could have had the final, regardless of the reason why it didn't happen. Doesn't matter. I think for the league, it was going to be a spectacle. Same way last year, we had a game on national television. It was a draw, but it was a fun one, and it was a really important game, and there was a lot of eyes, and I had the pleasure of meeting a lot of you guys for the first time, and seeing the way our fans interact with each other, on a regular basis, it is what really makes it fun because we love our teams and are passionate about our teams this the same way, and we would all be best friends if we were all lived in the same city. But we live in separate cities, but we all respect each other. Some people don't understand that we actually really like each other. When we all see each other, they might think it's funny or sometimes disrespectful, but it's all in fun. And I think having so many people interacting with each other, the supporters groups, and playing pickup games, and having those types of memories and the banter that we have. Go talking about my hair today was a little bit far, but we won't. I can get past that just because I really do care about and I appreciate what you guys do over there in Omaha because I try my best. I don't consider myself an influencer whatsoever. I just love my team and I love making new friends. I've met Brandon through Twitter. I've met you guys through Twitter, and we create we help this league in many ways that I think they even see and bring a lot of legitimacy to the league, to our own teams, and make it really fun to be a fan of this league in general.
We're all danger stories of who not to meet on the internet. No, I definitely think you both hit it just beautifully there. For me, it's always been it's a rivalry of respect on the field, off the field. Supporters groups on both sides really respect what the others are doing in the community. Players on both sides really respect the level of play that's in each other's teams. John Harkes might not really respect Jay Mims quite as much, but I'm pretty sure Mims respects Harkes a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. They might. I mean, Mims might be gone, and Harkes might be looking to move to Omaha.
He's probably going to go to DC United or something, unfortunately.
I mean, you guys can't even beat Charlotte. Why would he go to DC United?
He might go to either one. Who knows?
But it really boils down to there's just so much respect in the game on and off, and this weekend's game happening during June when both Riot and a couple of the Omaha supporters groups are all participating in the Pride Racer. I want it to be like a 5-4, just Omaha squeaking out a winner, just because it's more money going towards charity, the more goals that happen. And that sort of thing. It's I want you guys to score 4 goals. I just want to score one more. But just have that sort of fun. Have the things we can look back on with it.
I need to score 6 because if we win, I'm getting a free bag of coffee out of this. So
yeah.
If you're hearing that, I need 6.
I mean, if you just came here, I'd buy you a bag of coffee.
Okay.
Done.
I saw a couple of us are going to be down there in July, so I'm expecting at least a beer out of the trip.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm. Another pickup game. We need to have.
We're not bringing the numbers last time.
You don't think so?
It's the middle of July. It's hot down there.
It'll be fun.
Although I'm having my maiden run in Greenville in July.
Nice. Welcome to Greenville.
Nice.
Why?
We can get an indoor soccer place.
There you go. We need one of those.
That sounds difficult. We'll have to do some tech ball or something like that.
There you go.
We can play FIFA.
Oh no.
Indoors. Indoors in July. I lived in the South for over 20 years. Indoors in July is important.
Amen. Amen.
We'll only be outdoor for the 2 hours of the game. Some of the tailgate.
The rest of the time we'll be under a fan.
Yeah. No. I'm not looking forward to where they put us because that's the least amount of shade. I hope you guys cast enough at us. John, let's round up with you on this before we get to the final question.
I mean, what other rivalries can I tweet maybe once a quarter? Something along the lines of just I'm making my pilgrimage to Greenville, South Carolina, and it be said with zero jest. That's kind of what this rivalry has become. Just Two cities that are considered not big enough to have major professional sports. Acting like they are fans of a team in a major professional sport, but with no irony whatsoever because it matters that much to them. Mm-hmm. And if, it's two groups that collectively feel the same way and agree on the same things. And again, like Brandon said before, it helps that we play the most quality games in the league.
I love what you said, because I think like that's it. Like, we love our clubs. We just love our clubs. And now that there aren't a ton of fans across the league who love their clubs, like there's plenty who do in all their teams. But I just think that that we're able to do that, and kind of share that experience as two different teams. It's a really cool thing. Even though, we do give each other a hard time, and, all over the place. There's that shared passion, like extreme passion for our clubs. Even if we, made a joke about the defense, like, come Saturday, say nothing, like they got my support 100%. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, they're the golden people all of a sudden. You know what I mean? So we love our clubs, and that's just an awesome place to be, is when you know that you've got something to support that's like what we have.
No, I agree. I think it's special. We all appreciate what we do in each other's games. I think we all root during the Open Cup is the biggest teller for me, how we all support each other. That's the only time you'll ever see me say "Go Omaha," or "Let's go Omaha." But I'm proud to do it because of what this is our league, and that we have been in. You guys came and joined a year after us, and it's the beginning of something that we are helping grow, that hopefully our kids one day will be supporting, and maybe one day playing for, and hopefully you guys get a women's team and we can have something fun going on there someday. It's bringing a lot of excitement, and I think it's something special. And people joke that there's only like 50 League One fans, online, and I'd say about 40 of them are Omaha and Greenville fans, and that's the beauty of it. We all
League One fans.
But we all support each other. We all want to go against the USL Championship teams and MLS teams and show what we are building in this league is strong. It's important to all of us, and it's the future. It could be the future of U.S. soccer one day, and I hope if when there's promotion and relegation that both of us would be the first ones to do it.
No, I definitely think there's so much in this rivalry. If you're on Twitter, you see the bands. If you just follow the passion that goes on, if you meet any supporters from either of our clubs and ask about it, I think you'll hear some great stories and some great tales about what it means to them. So definitely, if you get a chance, find a Greenville supporter, buy them a beer, make fun of them the entire time, but or a Pepsi. You can buy them a Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Okay, I lied. I have two questions. Go around. Realistic score predictions. Brandon.
I mean, this year's okay. Like, I'm gonna go with somewhere between 1-1 and 2-2.
Okay.
Optimistically 2-2.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to say 1-1. Possibly we might sneak out a 2-1 win, but I'm gonna go firm with a 1-1 draw.
John?
I want to officially go on the record saying 1-1 as well. We've gone 6 unbeaten in all competitions. Sometimes when you're riding a wave like that, you're just waiting just for the streak to end, because streaks do end. So that's in the back of my mind, but I'm going to officially say 1-1.
Well, I love how, PC y'all are. Gio threw a little bit of spice with a 2-1 win, but it's going to be 2-0 Omaha.
This is
That's why you have to go last.
I would expect nothing less.
I mean, one last question. I assume you've all watched listened at some point. Who gives a hoot? We do.
The two of us do.
Yeah,
You do. Because you're going to give a
Mine was
hoot
delayed,
about
mine
us
was
Wednesday.
what?
You'll give a hoot about us next Wednesday.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, yes.
And that's it. Next Wednesday.
I do not give a hoot. Next Wednesday, I give a hoot.